Today you are going to be doing a practice lab over physical properties of matter. So let me explain what you're going to be doing. You are going to be using your observation skills today to analyze and describe matter. The state of Texas says all students must be able to classify matter. That just means you need to be able to sort it or categorize it based on physical properties. I guess physical properties are just different ways to describe matter. Some of the properties that you need to know are mass, which involves a triple beam balance, magnetism, physical state, relative density, solubility in water, and the ability to conduct or insulate thermal or electric energy. In this lab today, you are going to be looking at salt, a rubber eraser, a glass marble, a paper clip, cooking oil, and a penny. There are many different ways to describe matter. In this concept map, I've placed matter in the center. That could be any solid, liquid, or gas. It's going to be the item we're testing. The yellow ovals surrounding matter are 8 physical properties. Now guys, there are many more: mass, volume, temperature, etc. But the ones that you see here in yellow are the ones involved in this investigation. When we are trying to categorize based on physical state, your only choices in this investigation are going to be solid, liquid, or gas. Another way we can describe matter is color. You want to be specific, but don't get so overly creative that we get confused. Don't use the exact names on Crayola crayons. Instead, let's think about maybe saying pale green, dark green. Texture is a way to describe matter. It is what does the object feel like. You're going to have to use your observation and inference skills in this investigation because you are not actually going to be touching the objects. We don't want to use opinion words like gross or awesome or man, that's so cool. No, you want to keep it scientific. So I've given you some clues. These are some examples of texture. You could also use words like gritty or grainy. I see bumpy is on here, smooth. Sometimes objects actually have more than one texture depending upon what part of the object you're touching. Think about a pencil. The tip of your pencil might be sharp, but the eraser, I wouldn't say sharp's probably the best description. Magnetism, you've already explored in class. Remember, for magnetism, your 2 options are magnetic or non-magnetic. It's magnetic if it is attracted to a magnet. Think about what an object should be made of to be magnetic. Now, we haven't really talked about the next few words, but that's okay. This is kind of a figure it out type of lab. So we're going to look at some new words, but we're going to talk more about them in class later. Relative density means if you put the object in water, does it sink or does it float? So I've given you some examples. If you were in a swimming pool and you had this beach ball, it's going to float on the water. And that's probably helpful, right? We would say since it floats, that object is less dense than water. Over here, if we use the example of a ship's anchor, the anchor sinks in water, and that's what it's meant to do so that the ship can't move. Since it sinks in water, we would say the anchor is more dense than water. So you're going to use your observation skills today to look at what happens to the object when it's placed in water. And then because of that behavior, because it floats or because it sinks, what does that tell us about its density? So I'm going to be looking for less dense or more dense. Solubility is just a fancy word that means if you put the object in water and you stir it, does it dissolve in water? Now guys, dissolve doesn't mean it disappears. It means it mixes evenly. So I've given you an example. If we had a beaker of water and we add a purple powder and stir, we might get this. Do you notice the entire liquid looks the same? Now all of it's purple. I don't see layers. I don't see chunks. All of it's the same. So we would say that this purple powder is soluble in water. It mixed evenly in the water. If you end up with something that doesn't mix evenly, we would say it is insoluble in water. That just means it didn't dissolve. So you would see layers or pieces or chunks. Electrical conductivity is another way to describe matter, and you would test it by building a very simple electrical circuit. What you're looking at is, would the object you're testing allow electrical energy to pass through? So notice both of these circuits are built the same. Here we've inserted some sort of object, and notice the light bulb is still off. Since that light bulb is off, we know that this object that we're testing is not allowing electrical energy to flow through. So we would say this object is an electrical insulator. The energy was blocked. It could not pass through. Over here, same basic circuit, but a different object has been inserted in the circuit. Notice your light bulb is on. This object is an electrical conductor because it allows the electrical energy from the battery to flow through and complete your circuit. Thermal conductors are a little bit trickier to test. So I'm going to explain what they are and then give you a clue. Thermal conductors allow thermal energy, which is basically heat, to pass through. So if they come in contact with something hot, they tend to get very, very hot. This guy is dressed, it looks like, for winter. So he's wearing a lot of thermal insulators, and that's helpful. Your body naturally is about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 37 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm. And on a winter day, you want to stay warmer than that cold outside. So you put on clothes to keep your body heat close to your body. The sweater, the scarf, the hat, the mittens, all of that, those act as thermal insulators because they do not let your body heat escape or pass through. Over here, we have a metal pan that is a thermal conductor. Notice we have a flame from the stove. That flame is hot, and as it touches this metal pan heats up. So the thermal energy is passing through the pan, which allows us to cook and heat our food. Now, since you're not actually going to be testing thermal conductivity, I want you to instead use this clue. For our purposes in 5th grade, if an object is an electrical insulator, it will also be a thermal insulator. And if an object is an electrical conductor, it will also be a thermal conductor. Start looking for patterns so that you can accomplish this unit with much success. Good luck!